Hello, I'm Una. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you've been around before, I make project planning videos and related content. Today I thought I'd do kind of an overview of my inventory, where it is now, because some things have changed, and also a little bit about what I have bought this year. It's like almost finals in school, and I really should be doing other things, but I'm feeling kind of down and I just really want to film this, so that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll be fine. I really will be. So anyway, I guess I'll start with the inventory, which I went through. So I figured instead of doing like halfway through the year, I'd do like a third of the way through the year, because I'm gonna be home for the summer because I'm in college, and it would make it just very inconvenient to have everything in the same place in the middle of the year when I'm home, rather than kind of now and then in September when I'll be back here, which is where pretty much everything is. I think maybe there's like one lipstick that I didn't take with me because I never wear it, but anyway. So I have everything on my computer and I won't leave it over there, so I'm not leaning constantly. Anyway, yeah, I did the video like this a while ago towards the beginning of the year where I talked about all my inventory for like the past 3 years, but this is just going to be beginning of the year versus now, and hopefully I won't mess up saying which one's which as much as I did in that video. First is primer. I had one primer, then I had one primer now. It's the same primer. It's the NYX like glass skin primer. It's whatever. I haven't used it a ton. Same for foundation. I had one foundation. I have one foundation. I'm panning that foundation, so hopefully by the end of the year it will be 0. And then maybe it'll fluctuate back up to 1 again, but we'll see. It's slow going. Slow going on that. Okay, for powder, I had 3 then at the beginning of the year, and now I have 3. But I did finish one powder, which was my NYX translucent powder, and I bought one powder. So I'll just show these to you as they come up. I bought the e.l.f. Ooh, this is so covered in fingerprints. The e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder. I bought this at the recommendation of Sarah Rose, I think is her name. That'll be so embarrassing if I get it wrong. It was like one of her videos about like drugstore products that feel like luxury, and I was like, I'm gonna need a new powder anyway, because the other powder I'm working on has like huge pan in it, and I just like repressed it. So I figured this was on sale. It was like maybe being discontinued, so I wanted to pick it up then, and so I did. So I have this. I haven't used it because I don't need to. Yeah, so I have 3 powders still. Concealer, again, I had 4 at the beginning of the year. I have 4 now. I'm panning one of them, but the other 2, like one of them's too dark and one of them's too light, so those are going to take a while. Anyway, in terms of bronzer, I had 3 then, and I have 3 now. They're the same 3. I'm trying to hit pan on one. I've never hit pan on a bronzer, and I have been getting into the habit of using bronzer now, so it doesn't feel as ridiculous to have 3 bronzers, even though they're all basically the same. But, you know, that's it. It'll take a long time to get rid of one unless I end up decluttering one to a friend, which doesn't seem super likely, but it definitely could happen. Okay, here's where it gets more interesting. I had at the beginning of the year 6 powder blushes, and now I have 5. And I think this is just because I reorganized some categories. I have like a blush duo, but one of them is like a highlighter. It's from Kaleidos, and so I categorized that into highlighters, and I will talk about that later as well. So I have 1 fewer powder blush, even though I haven't used up any and I haven't gotten rid of any. I just kind of recategorized some things as I was going through my makeup collection this time. And then, in terms of liquid or cream blush, I had 7 and now I have 8. And that is because I bought the M Cosmetics Serum Blush. This was actually on Mercari, like I bought it secondhand. It was like a whole thing, like she accidentally sent me the wrong thing. But anyway, I bought this. I have been wanting this for so long, and it was $16 on Mercari. The original is $25. So I was like, I'm just gonna get it, you know, I don't know. It's been working out fine. I've worn it probably like 3 times, and it's like, it's very different from my other cream blushes, so I'm glad to have it, or it's like a liquid blush. But yeah, I bought 1 liquid cream blush. I would like to use one up this year. We'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, that increased by 1. In terms of powder highlighter, I had 23 and now I have 23, but I did actually declutter one to a friend, which was far too deep for me, but then I recategorized one blush as a highlighter. So it's like, you know, but actually I also have a highlighter that I kind of use as a blush topper type of thing, so it's a little bit confusing, but we're just gonna keep it at 23 for now. It might go down to 22 and blush might go back up, but that's okay. In terms of mascara, I had 2 and now I have 2. And actually, it's a completely different 2. So I had a Milk mini and I had a Gucci mini, and I have used both of those up, and now I have this from e.l.f., which was a free gift with purchase, and I have this one from AOA, which was $1. So I feel pretty good about these 2. The other 2 were minis that were both free for various amounts. I will say this is the one I'm using right now. I don't love it, but it's fine. So yeah, I'm glad it's a mini and I'm glad it was free. Mascara is like not something I'm worried about. I've never had more than like 3 mascaras. Okay, liquid liner, I had 2, I have 2, they're the same 2. It's whatever. Okay, so this is my main category of shame, this inventory, which is potted liners, because I was somehow on some mailing list or something for Glisten, or maybe I was just looking and I saw that they had like a build your own palette, and I was like, oh, that would be cool, even though I don't usually use pot liners. But anyway, so I was looking through it and I ended up finding a selection, and then they sold out of the palette, and I was like, oh, like, do I do a smaller one? Do I do a bigger one? Anyway, I ended up buying just a bundle of the potted liners. They're called wet liners, I think. And I only bought 7, which I feel pretty good about because the palette would have been 9. And I think it was cheaper because it was like bundle discount plus like 30% off. Anyway, but I bought 7, which is a lot. I had 5, now I have 12. But I do feel like they're kind of like a long-term investment type of thing. Like, I am done with buying pot liners now. I'm completely done. I bought every color I could possibly use, and I do feel like I have a much better feel for my preferences. I bought a lot more nude colors, a lot more wearable colors, and hopefully I will enjoy them, but they're not here yet, so I won't show them to you, but I did buy 7 of them, which is pretty bad, but I will not. I'm not gonna let myself ever buy any more, ever again, basically, unless I get rid of some, for whatever reason. Anyway, but I have those now. I will have those. I'll have a nice collection. I feel like that'll also be fun for, like, you know, costuming and, you know, fun out there stuff. Okay, pencil liner. I had 3. I have 3. I'm trying to pan 1. It's going okay, especially this month. I've been putting in a lot of work trying to get usage on it, but yeah, I still have 3. In terms of lip liners, I had 4 and now I have 2. I gave 1 to a friend, and I think that's right. No, I think I gave two to a friend. I had a red one, but I never wear red lipstick, and I had a pink one, but I didn't really want it, and she was asking for makeup, so I gave 2 to a friend. One I have is like purple, and one is nude. I think I could use up the nude one without too much work and time, but you know, it'll take a while. So my next category is bullet or like crayon lipstick, like a stick, anything that's a stick of lipstick. At the beginning of the year I had 15 and now I have 14, but I will say that the 14 is not counting a lip balm that I'm panning right now and that I depotted. I do have like a teensy bit left of that, but I'm not counting it anymore. So that has decreased by 2, which I'm very pleased with. One of those I decluttered to a friend. It was a red lipstick. I don't really wear it, so I gave it to her. In terms of liquid lipstick, I had 10 and now I have 6, which I'm very happy about. Unfortunately, I think this was basically entirely declutters, but it was also because they went bad. So, you know, there's only so much you can do. I think maybe I gave one to my friend, but I didn't use any up, so the rest must have been declutters. This is the lowest I've ever been in terms of liquid lipsticks, because at the beginning of 2020 I had 9. So I'm feeling good about 6. I'm feeling very good about 6. And then in terms of lip gloss, I had 13 and now I have 10. And again, I didn't use any up. I gave 1 to my friend and 2 of them went bad and I decluttered them. But I'm still feeling good. Like, I'm back down to my end of 2020 levels, which is, I don't know, it feels like progress, and I don't feel tempted to buy any new lip glosses really, and I've been using my lip glosses a lot, so that feels good. Alright, eyeshadow primer, boring, 2 then, 2 now. They're the same two. Cream and liquid eyeshadow, I had 4 and now I have 3. I think I accidentally said that I had 3 in my last video, but I had 3 I always do that, 3 NYX shadow sticks and 1 jelly, ColourPop jelly like eyeshadow. But I got rid of one of my shadow sticks. I gave it to my friend when I decluttered. I gave her so much stuff. Anyway, so I only have 3 now properly, and one of them I use frequently, the other 2 I don't really, but there's no real reason to give them away or to get rid of them right now. Setting sprays. I had 2 and now I have 1. So I had an e.l.f. setting spray that I was almost done with, and I had a sample of the All Nighter. I decluttered the All Nighter and I finished the e.l.f. one, but then I bought a new one. So this is an entirely refreshed category, which is kind of fun. I bought this e.l.f. Plus Glow Dewy Mist, which I don't understand that name, but I quite like it. I've used a little chunk of it since I've had it, and yeah, I feel good about using up a whole setting spray, and I feel good about getting rid of a setting spray that I didn't really want, and hopefully my friend is enjoying it. Okay, brows. I had 3, now I have 4, and that's just because I bought one thing, which is the AOA Hold My Brow Soap. I was just curious about brow soap, and this was small and just $1, and it seemed like an easy starting point, so I thought I would add it in. I am working on panning one of my other brow products, but yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it's out of control, so I'm okay with that. Okay, in terms of eyeshadow palettes, I had 15 and now I have 13. So this is where it gets weird, because like, what do you count as an eyeshadow palette and what do you not count, right? So like, I decluttered an eyeshadow palette just for straight off, so I'm already 1 down. I gave that to my friend. I hope she's enjoying it. But I have also depotted 2 eyeshadow palettes since the beginning of the year, and before that I had depotted 1. So it's like, do I count depotted eyeshadow palettes as single eyeshadows or as eyeshadow palettes? Because I counted some depotted eyeshadows as singles and some as palettes. Anyway, so I think what I went for with 13 is I generally tended to count them as depotted singles, and you'll see that my eyeshadow single count did go up, so that's kind of why it makes sense. Anyway, I didn't buy any palettes. I have fewer palettes altogether. And then in terms of eyeshadow singles, at the beginning of the year I had 83 and now I have 119. So that's a big increase, but the only eyeshadows that I bought were these 7. These are from Pretties for Your Face. They're so pretty. I've only worn this one so far, but they were having a sale. It was like half off plus like 20% off. I don't know, it was like a huge sale. And I wanted to try them out. So I bought these and I'm fine with that. And only 7 is like not even that much. It is not the increase of like 40. What did happen was I depotted a 16 pan eyeshadow palette. I depotted 2 16 pan eyeshadow palettes. Yeah, a lot of things got rearranged. I think I started counting some eyeshadow palettes not as whole palettes. I have this whole thing with my ColourPop palettes where sometimes I keep them in my singles collection, but sometimes I put them back in their proper palettes, and then it's like I don't know how to count them, because I could easily just disassemble them again and have them in my singles. Like right now I have Going Coconuts in my singles, and I don't have that palette with me, so I can't put them back in a palette, but it is the whole palette. Anyway, that's confusing. I'll talk about that when I get to pans of eyeshadow. So the total, based off of those numbers, is 244 versus 217 at the beginning of the year. But I did not buy like 27 things. I bought like 22, which is not great, but that doesn't reflect all the things I used up. And anyway, so this is so, okay, so that's one version of the total. I will say my total without powder eyeshadows is 112, and my total without powder eyeshadows at the beginning of the year is 119, which I feel like really reflects like all my lip categories going down. It reflects like the setting sprays that I used up and things like that. But I do still want to account for powder eyeshadows, so I will also say that my pans of like powder eyeshadow now are 251, and at the beginning of the year it was 259. So like if I count them separately, I went down in both areas. So I went down in my non-powder eyeshadow products, and I went down in my powder eyeshadows because I got rid of 16 eyeshadows and I only have about 7. And so I'm very happy with that. Like, that's incredible. Even though I bought like 7 pot eyeliners and, you know, not an insignificant amount of things. Oh, I forgot to mention when I was talking about lip products, I did go down overall in lip products, but I did buy 1 lip balm, which I think I'm counting as a lip gloss, and another, they're both lip balms basically. This one I'm counting as a lipstick and this one I'm counting as a lip gloss. So be warned, I suppose. I did get rid of even more than that. And then I just got a couple new ones. But still, my collection went down overall in both kind of versions. Okay, that was a lot of numbers. Just to recap, I'll go over the things I bought one last time. And the things I used up, I suppose. So yeah, I bought a little bit of stuff from e.l.f. I bought the powder, a couple lip products, and I got this mascara for free. I bought 2 things from AOA that are makeup, and oh wait, this is also from e.l.f. And then I bought this blush and these beautiful singles. And that's definitely like more, I don't want to keep up that pace for the other 2/3 of the year. Because that plus the eyeliners that I haven't gotten yet is something like 22 items, and I don't want to buy 60 things this year. That's just too many. But some of these things were replacements, and some of them were kind of testing out things. And I do feel like, I said this a lot when I was talking about what I bought last year, but I'm feeling less and less tempted to buy lip products, and I feel like that's even more true now than it was then. I bought like a decent amount last year, and I do really feel like I have like neutrals that I really, really love and I really like to reach for that I didn't have before that, and I do feel like these have mostly added to it. I will say, I do not like the way this smells. It's like very artificial watermelon, but these fit nicely into my repertoire of lips, my lip wardrobe, if you will, and so I don't feel too bad about that. I mean, I feel okay about that, and I don't think that I will make more purchases like that. I will say I do want to kind of allow for a little bit of purchasing towards the end of the year, particularly like if there's something that I have my eye on and it's on sale, but I do want to be careful that I don't let that kind of allow me to buy more things than I actually want and will actually use. So like I kind of just want to build in a little bit of like, you know, if there's a Black Friday sale and I really want something that I feel like I have the room later in the year to do that, but I don't want to be like, you know, I can buy anything I want, look, it's on sale, I should go get that. Like I do still want to be careful about those things. And then also my my singles palette is getting really, really full, and I have had to kind of separate some singles into other palettes, and so I don't really want to get too much bigger on that scale. I really, really enjoy having everything kind of in one place for the most part that I can look at and pull things out, and so I did get a slightly bigger singles palette, but I don't want to have like 2 giant singles palette. Like I don't want to have like 200, you know, singles that I have to work with. I'd really rather stick to around the number I have now, but I really enjoy the shades I depotted, and I'm really glad I depotted them, if that makes sense. So basically I want to especially keep an eye on things like cream blushes, because those are tempting me right now, or even powder blushes, things like single eyeshadows from indie brands that I can just like kind of give myself permission for. I'm gonna try and stop doing that. And I will say though, like I haven't been super tempted, and I do feel like part of the trick is just to stay off of not all makeup social media, but a lot of it, and just kind of focus on having fun when I put my makeup on in the morning and then doing other things, because if I look at too much makeup media, I start being like, oh, there's that thing and there's that thing and there's that thing, and I really want it, and it's basically just, it's not something that I deal with if I don't think about it. Like there's no, like, it which shows how unnecessary it all is. And I will of course keep, like, I feel like project panning media is usually pretty good, especially when it's more focused on the process rather than the products, but I still need to be mindful of what I'm consuming and if I only want that thing because somebody I like said it was really good. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty solid about that, but I definitely did allow myself to buy more than I want to going forward. and I feel like I'll keep myself pretty busy this summer, and hopefully this won't be a problem, but that's where I'm at. I am feeling so proud though that even despite this purchasing, I still did decrease my numbers in my overall makeup collection without eyeshadows and my eyeshadows. I know that a lot of that was through decluttering and things going bad, but it still feels good to pare down your collection, and especially in the case of the decluttering I did, like I gave stuff to a friend and that felt really good, and it was really fun to make her like a little goodie bag, and I want to do that more if more of my friends want makeup, and so I don't want to disincentivize doing that. So if that happens again, I'll be happy to give stuff away. I have a little list in my makeup inventory sheet of things that I would give away on it like without, you know, feeling bad. Like things that I have that I don't want to get rid of because I don't have anywhere to give them to that wouldn't be the trash, but that if someone wanted them, I would give them away in a heartbeat. So yeah, I will keep that in mind going forward. But okay, I rambled long enough. I hope that was interesting. I think I really enjoy this. Like this is one of the things I like about penning the most, is looking at the numbers, watching them change, and just really thinking back, like psychoanalyzing myself, kind of looking back, thinking about where I was, where I am, what I think about makeup. So I hope it was interesting to watch. Thank you so much for watching. I would just like to say thank you again. I think I have like 60 subscribers now, which is crazy, and it's so fun putting videos out there, and you know, just feeling like more of a part of the YouTube panning community and getting comments. People are so nice and wonderful. They especially love Panda's eyeshadows. So probably not as many people will see this video, but that's totally fine. I'm just having such a good time doing this. So thank you so much. If you want to watch more of my videos, I have a little bit of a backlog. It's mostly project pans plus every once in a while a video like this, or like a get ready with me. I have something like that, and so I hope you find them interesting and you'll check them out if you want to, and subscribe if you want to see more. I feel like I upload like once or twice a week, sometimes 3 times. It's kind of variable, and hopefully I'll keep that up over the summer. So yes, thank you so much again. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!